everyone, and welcome back to Amity Bloom. My name is Nazi. Thank you to all of those who are in this family who continue to watch my videos and to leave beautiful comments. It means so much to me. It feels amazing knowing that there's so many of you out there who have the same love and enthusiasm for paper, for fabric, and for, of course, journals. So today's video is quite exciting. If you love paper and you like to see different ways to use paper, we are going to be collaging together in my little itty bitty 2-inch by 2-inch journal. I'm going to be creating some collages in here, and I'm going to teach you how to start collaging as a beginner, starting off in a smaller size and then making your way to larger sizes as you become more comfortable. But before we start playing in our journal and we start collaging, I wanted to make sure that those of you who wanted to purchase the paper bloom pack that missed out on the pre-order, my mother and I have been very busy little bees these past few days, and we were able to create some more sets of the paper bloom packs, and we even made a tiny little itty bitty one. They are slightly different, and of course this one is new, but we were able to create more medium packs, and they are exactly the same apart from a few papers. So these are the papers that are added to this kit that were different from the previous one. I had some of this paper. It's beautiful floral geometric pattern. This is some Italian Florentine paper, so you do get a strip of Italian paper. I also included this beautiful, I'll put it behind this one so it doesn't take its spotlight. This one matched so elegantly with the periwinkle blue. This beautiful geometric floral teal, it matches with the green tones. And then of course the purple mauve colors match with the wallpaper that's included. And then you can never go wrong with script. So these are the papers that were added to this pack. And the greatest thing is that after we created these packs, we still had some paper left over of certain papers. And so I thought it would be really fun to create a little mini scrap pack. The papers that you will be getting are book pages, some of that craft paper folded in half, some blank ledger for journaling, some music paper, more ledger, some of that typewriter paper. Of course, I needed to include some pink craft, and we didn't have that much left over, but we had enough to include some in the little scrap packs. Some more ledger and book pages. So for the vintage wallpaper, these 3 have been used in the paper bloom packs. This is perfect for creating floating pockets as it's nice and sturdy. And then I was able to include some of this antique teal wallpaper that you've been seeing in the medium and the large kits. What I love to do with this is treat it as a journaling card and journal directly on top of it. Some more ledger pieces, some blanks, some written on, so that you can collage with these, write with these. Some more vintage papers. Some little snippets of some scrapbook paper. I loved this one because it looked like a little quilt and it matched with the color palette really well. And then with my circle punch, I cut out some circles out of my antique wallpaper. It's really unique because it has a black background and it has florals on it. And I love how it looks as if it's drawn in, and you'll notice you'll get different pieces of the wallpaper. And then you of course get some ledger strips, a really old one from the 1800s. And then a little piece of some Italian paper. They are half the size of the medium pack, and if you're interested in a smaller paper pack, I would purchase this one if you love creating tags and smaller collages. If you work in a pocket-sized journal, I would choose this one. If you like creating smaller little mini journals like this, then I would definitely recommend this one to purchase. However, if you want full sheets, you want to create bigger journals, you want the pack to last you a longer time, and if you want some of those beautiful antique wallpapers that I've been sharing, then this one is definitely the one that you should go for. So both the medium pack and the small pack will be up in my shop tonight at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this is the last round of paper bloom packs. The next time we will be creating them will probably be at the end of the year or early January, as we have other projects in store and they just take a lot of time to make, and they take a lot of time for me to find the papers. So that will be up in the shop later tonight. And now it's time to start collaging in my little itty bitty journal. So let me zoom you guys in and start working in our smaller canvas. Our canvas today is my mini journal. It measures 2 by 2 inches. And I already had some of these book pages attached in one of the pockets, and I decided to create a little tip in with them. When you're creating a collage, washi tape is actually a really nice tool to use because you can use it to continuously attach pieces to your pages and to add a pop of color. And since I'm working in a smaller size, I just need to make sure that my washi isn't too thick and it fits on the page. Now I'm taking some beautiful wallpaper from our paper bloom packs, and it reminded me of some tiles from Portugal that I saw a picture of on the internet. And I wanted to use only the portion that didn't have that dark brown to it, since I wanted to keep this page semi-light. I'm also using a little snippet of some turquoise wallpaper, the tiniest piece, and I'm actually using some of the book pages that were included in the paper bloom pack. You can easily find any books around you and cut out the phrases. If you don't have sentiments already printed out, this is a great way to add words and phrases to your collages. You can make it meaningful, or you can just choose words that you feel go with the page at the moment in time. And then in the little corner, I added one of my French number labels up at the top. And I really loved how that little collage turned out. And the best part is I can journal on the back. So now on the other page, I put some scrapbook paper that looks like tiles, and then some ledger, ripped it up so it looks very organic, and I created a little tuck spot. I try to have a combination of both straight and rough torn edges as it gives it more interest. And then in the pocket I included a little tag from one of my mini papers and some washi tape, the smallest little strip, but it ties in the blues from the other page. So now moving on to these little pages, I am using some pink craft paper on the side, and I'm thinking I'm going to be using this ledger as I really appreciate the font and the penmanship, as well as that little pink line at the bottom which ties in the pink color of the craft paper. I decided to cut it in half to use the script at the bottom and then the number at the top. I'm using a little circle punch out from my paper pack of some vintage wallpaper, and that page is finished. Moving on to the next one, more white on this page as you'll notice from the paper. I decided to choose some other collage papers from my pack, some blues, some browns, and having that main background of the white so that it mixes in with the white from the music. And I'm using a little snippet of some wallpaper, bringing in the hues of those green tones that you can see on the other page from the wallpaper. I like to cross match my colors from my pages, so if I use green on the left hand side as a standout color, I will use it on the right as well. And I finished the page with a pink postage stamp to bring in the pink colors from the previous page. So now moving on to this page, I wanted to use some wallpaper and I couldn't decide which papers to use as they're all so pretty, but I ended up going for a neutral pink craft and I wanted to connect both of the pages together. This is something that I love doing in my journals, to take a page and make it into a spread so you involve 2 pages into your collage. I am using this pretty scrapbook paper and turned it into a little mini pocket. And now I'm taking some antique ledger and I'm going to make a tag out of it, as I do want to journal on the tag. I decided to fold the ledger in half as it's very fragile since it is antique, and I glued both sides so it has more stability. However, you can leave it as an open tag so you have more space to journal. It just depends if you want to journal on your collages or if you just want to create beautiful collage pieces without any writing. Since this is a spread, the collage is going to be on both pages, so I wanted to take some paper that had a white background to it to bring in the highlights of the white from the previous page. And now I'm taking some washi, my favorite washi at the moment. It's this little postage stamp washi. I purchased it from Etsy for those who were wondering. It's absolutely beautiful. And I'm taking a little snippet of piano paper to include an antique hue, as it was turning into too much white space and I wanted to give it a more vintage effect. And then I'm taking some more washi and I'm adding a little strip, making sure that the line of the washi lines up to the piano paper. And you'll notice simple pages, not a lot of materials, washi and paper, sticking them, gluing them, and collaging them together, creating pockets and standalone pages, cute little tags, little flip outs, and making the most of the small space that I had for myself and creating full page spreads, singular pages, and making it useful and still functional by including lots of writing space. So now for the cover of my journal, I couldn't stop and I wanted to collage the cover and I thought I'd share that with you. So I took some ledger on the bottom and I'm taking some vintage wallpaper, some pink really lovely hues. It goes really well with the button that I had on the cover, and I'm wrapping it around. I love the effect of irregular sized paper piecing, especially on the covers of journals. And for all of the journals in the future that I'm going to be using primarily for collaging, I want you to know that this is a collage journal just by the cover. And I'm adding a little pop of color by incorporating that turquoise little strip of some antique paper. Collaging is such a fun way of using your papers. Thank you so much for spending your time with me collaging in our mini journal. And until next time, I hope your day is filled with a huge abundance of peace and love. Have an awesome day, continue collaging, and I'll see you soon.